Good morning, fellow fidgeters. Today is the 4th of January 2017. So we're now officially 4 days past ANSI Labs' estimated shipping time, or they actually had it as their ETA, estimated time of arrival. They promised a good percentage of backers that they would receive their cubes by Christmas, and it seems that they've completely failed on that. And as far as we're aware, not a single person has received a single official fidget cube, which is kind of weird because there are so many fakes out there now. And the sales figures I can't even begin to comprehend. They're probably double, triple, quadruple what the initial ANSI Kickstarter level was, which I think was 155,000 backers. As we know, it's $6.4 million. And I would guess that the sales of Fake Fidgets, Fake Fidgets, has well exceeded that, and probably doubled or tripled its way past those sales numbers. Maybe not monetary, but certainly in the amount of cubes that have been sold. So I've been doing these reviews for a little while now. I know I've made some of them a little bit long in the past, and so I'm going to try and keep this short, sharp and sweet today. I've been waiting for this one. As you've heard me say before, and as you've seen me put in comments and on the message boards, etc., there are a confirmed 5 factories producing fake fidgets, or counterfeit fidgets, or unofficial fidgets, or fake fidgets, or whatever you want to call them, rip-offs or copies, or whatever. Either way, it doesn't matter. They are what they are. They are fidget cubes. I know ANSI have just started slapping a TM on things like Fidget Cube and don't worry, keep calm and fidget on and crap like that, which they really can't do because that's not how trademarks work. So, effectively, all of these in front of me right now are, in my eyes, fidget cubes. They may not be the official ones, but they are, for all intent and purposes, they are fidget cubes. So, what I've been waiting for, as I told you, is 5 confirmed factories that are knocking these out. You've seen me review 4 of them. Today I was super hyped because in the mail, finally, almost, I think, 7 or 8 weeks after ordering it, costing me an initial $3.66, including shipping. The final 5th cube has arrived. Oh yes, and it's one I've been excited for because it's something very different, or not very different, but it's something different. You've seen the camo cubes before, and they're one thing. They're very cool. I like these a lot, and you know, I know the guys that are selling these, and they're big sellers. And some exciting news. I'll probably break it to you today. I said I'd hold off till the 6th of January, but it's only 2 days away. In a few weeks, there are going to be some new colours rolling through the sellers. I'm not going to say their names, so I'll get myself in trouble. But the sellers of these high quality fidget cubes and the camo cubes, the producers have taken on board a lot of notes. They're changing a few of the features on the cube to make it more like the official one. That includes the clicky wheels on the front, and also some modifications to some of the joystick parts and bearings and bits and pieces. But the main thing is there are going to be some new colours. Among those colours, and get this is pretty awesome, for both men and women, and mainly women, I guess. From the camo cubes, they are going to be making a pink camo cube, or they are making a pink camo cube, and that should be here in the UK in the next, I don't know, 7 or 10, 14 days at the most. They are currently being produced. They're going to be express shipped to the UK, to the retailer on eBay and Amazon, where you buy the current camo cubes. And in a couple of weeks, you will see a pink camo cube added to the lineup, along with some other colours as well. They've taken on board feedback that I've given them, feedback that I've passed them back from the comment section on Kickstarter and from the posts I've received on Twitter and Facebook and all that crap as well. They've picked some new colours out. Now, this factory are making a lot of new colours, and so the guys here in the UK don't want to flood people with, 15 or 20 different colours, and, they find it hard to choose between them because, although they're fakes, they're not the cheapest fakes out there. They are extremely high quality, but that quality does come at a higher cost. But they have picked out some cool new colours to add to the collection, and one of them will be a pink camo cube, and I'm also told some of the standard cubes. Now, we've seen the white ones in various bright colours on the features. What we're hoping for is some black ones with some bright colour buttons and dials and all that kind of stuff as well. So stay on the lookout for that. As soon as they get them, I will have some, and I will be doing a walkthrough with them and showing them off and whatnot. So, okay, in the post today, now normally all my fidget cubes, even the ones that have come from China, have come fairly well boxed up or in protective packaging. The majority in these sort of foam boxes, some of them in these sort of plastic but still fairly protected boxes. The fifth and final cube, today it arrived in this. This is what actually got pushed through the door by the postie, and it contains absolutely no protective packaging at all. It is just a plastic bag with 2 paper labels stuck on it, and that's pretty much how it came through the post box. So I'm not really surprised that it took so long to arrive. That's jammed every machine all the way from Hong Kong to here in Somerset in the UK. So that's the packaging. Let's get rid of that. Right, now this new one, I've been excited about it because I think it's fairly unique and definitely appeals to a slightly different market. Excuse me. So let's have a look at it now. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put one of our regular looking normal fidgets that we've all seen a million times, these high quality ones. I'll pop one of those just there. Right, this is the new one that came today. Now, isn't that cool? Hey, it's about, I'd say, just over about 2/3 the size of the larger and what we think will be the size of the official cubes. But what I like about it, and what I like about the range of these little cubes, is they come in a variety of insanely bright and insanely bold colours and styles. Now, this is the one that I liked. That I love the yellow shells. They're doing a bunch of these in yellow shells. and I like the blue features. I think that made a nice contrast. I think that looks pretty damn nice. Yeah, I really do. Again, as usual, all the features work. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a clicky ball like a lot of others. Only the very top end of the cubes have the clicky balls. But it does have a nicely spinning ball bearing in there. All the dials work. They've got a bit of a click to them, not much, but more than some of the ones we've had through. But less than others. So they do have. You can definitely feel them going through some kind of gearing or tab or something in there. But yeah, it gives you it does. It is extremely noticeable. It's just not as heavy as a lot of them. We move round to the glide or joystick, and as you can see, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's got a good field of movement. It clicks up and down, which is nice. It's got a good spring back to centre, and it's well made. I mean, there's no defects in it at all. It's got a nice thick stem, unlike a lot of the others, and looks good. So to the spin, and I know you can see something there, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So for the spin for now, again, definitely tell that's on a ball bearing, or sorry, on a bearing, and that spins beautifully. If I flip that round, that would go flying around just like a lot of the other high quality ones. There's your anxiety worry stone type deal. It's got a bit of texture to it, which is nice, and works well. Next is dice face, the 5 dots. Now, as I think some of you saw my mod video, I've taken it down for the time being, but it shows how easy it is to open up one of these cubes and adjust the feedback you get from the buttons in your cube. Now this one's interesting. As most of the other ones, it's got your 2 silent buttons on the 2 corners there, but they are definitely on a button. You can hear that's them springing back into place, which is unusual. The others are mainly rubber, and just use their natural properties to kind of spring back and don't really push down that far. But on this one, even the silent ones have got a nice, it's a nice strong spring behind there, and they spring back well. Now the other 3, you can also kind of push them down and not make any noise, and you can do that quite easily, but a little bit of extra force, and you got your tactile feedback, you got your click. But you can also move around the face as if they were all silent with no tactile feedback. That's just the noise of the springs knocking them back into place. So that, I think, is a really cool little feature. Makes it super stealthy to play with, and with its size, it slips into pocket or whatever easily, and you could quite happily use all of those features, without anyone noticing what you're doing. And if you do get caught, you can just pretend you're playing with yourself, which is great. So there we go. Right, the rocker switch. Obviously it's the cube's a lot smaller, so the switch is smaller. Again, works really well. You can move it back side to side with a fair bit of give on it, or you can do it loudly and proudly. you can see, I'll use this moment, you can see this whole cube is made of vinyl. It's a really, I mean, you can really tell the difference between this and there's bad fakes back there, that green one there. You can really feel a difference in material qualities, and this one is a corker. It feels great. It's got a lovely weight to it. It's nice and small, but you know, I've got big hands, and you know, I'm happy. I'm more than satisfied with how this one works. So, I know you've all seen it as I've been swirling it around there. What this also comes with is a hole for a loop and a lanyard. And guess what? So it's tangled up there. It came with one. So for my $3.66, it actually comes with a pretty decent lanyard. And obviously, you know, as mobile phone case lanyards and whatnot, you know, it goes through the hole, loops back, and then you loop it all back through, and nice and easy to use. So, spinning round, I think that is a corking little cube. Now, I know these, I think some sellers in the UK have them, but I'm not sure. Some are showing pictures, but I'm not entirely sure if they're these cubes or not. And I've had trouble tracking down more sellers of these, but I think I've found a couple now, and so I've ordered a couple more from somewhere closer to home, and we'll have to wait and see them in the next few days and see what they turn out like in the post. But these little, what's it called, mini cube, mini fidget, I don't know. I love it. I think it's great. I really rate that highly. It's well made. It looks fantastic, and the other colours available are fantastic. They're all bright. They're all bold. They do a yellow shell, they do a nice bluey grey shell, they do black shell, white shell, and there's another one as well, I can't think off the top of my head. Oh, that's right, the other shell comes in this blue colour here, and so it's in reverse. You can get it in reverse to this sort of colour, so you can have the blue shell with yellow dials, or blue shell with black dials, or blue shell with pink dials, or whatever you want. I think there's about 22 or so different colour availabilities. So I love it. I think it's great. Chuffed to bits. Right, so the main reason I'm here today is to do a quick rundown of my favourites of the 5. Now we have all 5. I want to do a quick rundown of which ones I like, which ones I don't like, and we'll do a top 5. So let's go with last place first. Last place, absolutely 100% goes to this piece of shit here. Now, I only haven't beaten this to pieces because I wanted to keep it intact for the rundown video. As you can see, all the dials are crooked. You've seen the video on this one before. The rocker switch barely moves. All these buttons make noise. There's no silent, stealthy ones. It's horrible plastic. The ball bearing doesn't move. The ball bearing doesn't push down. The joystick's bent and doesn't move around. It just sort of bends, rather than being on a mechanism. It actually just bends the stalk of the joystick. And the spin dial's broken. It doesn't turn either. It's completely jammed up. Now I have pulled it apart, looked on the inside. None of the things are fixable, and everything is just basically held together with glue, molten plastic, and a couple of flimsy metal bars, little metal rods. So that is by far the worst, and it is shockingly bad. Right, my favourites have to be the high quality ones. I mean, these are absolutely fantastic. You've got I do have a black one as well, but this one happens to be the black and one with the red buttons. I love these because they're so moddable. You can easily pull them apart by pulling the dial wheel off and undoing 2 screws, pull it apart. You've got one more screw, which reveals another screw, and then the whole thing comes apart. And so you can basically swap out any part you want. I've done tactile button mods on these. This one doesn't have one, but I've done it one of them, so all 5 buttons make a different clicking sound. I've done them so you know, they're all silent but have different pressure amounts needed to trigger them and whatnot. And so that these ones have to be my favourite. And with, you know, with that cube, it does come from the same maker, of course, as the camo cubes. And I love these camo cubes. I think they're awesome. I don't think a single person I've shown these camo cubes to has said, oh no, I wouldn't buy one of those. Everyone I've shown them to has asked me where to get them. They are brilliant. They are just absolutely brilliant. So in the top slot goes those 4 cubes there. They're all from the same maker, same seller. There is 2 revisions. They did change a few things out on the slightly newer revision, but nothing major. It was just to make the buttons, the rubber buttons, a bit better, make them go through the holes a bit nicer. Right, so we've got our best, we've got our worst there. What next? Now, the other not so great ones we've had have been these ones in these boxes. Now, this again is a green one, but this one actually works as it should. I've got a grey one as well. And they're okay, they do their job. The funny thing is that for the last 5 weeks, I've been carrying this one around with me, and as you can see, it's exactly the same. It's one of these ones. It's from the same maker, same seller, everything. I've been carrying it around for 6 weeks. Not a thing has gone wrong with it. I've cleaned it a couple of times, but there's not a scratch on it. There's not a dent on it. It's been in my pocket for 6 full weeks. And it is still working absolutely flawlessly. So I think just on that alone, you know, it's a big positive. I really want to put that into second place, but because the parts are plasticky and it is an ABS cube, it's not a vinyl cube, I can't do it. I really can't. So unfortunately, that one and the other 2 there are going to have to go into 4th place. So far we got 1st place, we've got our last place, we've got our 4th place, and so we got 2nd and 3rd to fill. Now, 2nd, I've got to say, I'm so blown away by this. It has got to be the mini cube. I think that is just absolutely awesome. Again, putting it side by side with a full-size cube, you can see it's about 2/3. I love that cube, and I love the fact that it has a lanyard hole. It doesn't really affect how the cube looks. I mean, when you're using it, you barely notice the things there. And with a lanyard, you know, you've obviously got the option to use it as a keychain or keep hold of it safely, and I think that's awesome. I really love that cube. and I'm chuffed to bits it's finally arrived after so long waiting for that one. So we've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 5, we've got 4, and so in the middle, just about, is number 3, which is this one here. Now, it's very similar to look at as these ones, but it does come in a slightly different box. It's the one with a clear screen. As you can see, it is very, very similar to those, but it is not the same. It is, those ones, you get a nice good feel to them, and a nice good clunky clicks and whatnot. This one just doesn't have that. It's all loose. It's a nice looking cube. It's made of vinyl. The bits work, but it's not on the same level as those cubes there. And so unfortunately that one falls into my 3rd place. So let's line these up. We've got, I'll use the camo to represent number 1, and I'll just to keep things simple, I'll put that one there as well. There's our number 1 choice, which is the camo and the high quality cubes there. My number 2 is our little yellow friend there. That is definitely, if I didn't love the camo cubes and these ones so much, I would honestly say that little yellow beauty is my favourite. But I do love the camo cubes, so it does fall into number 2. Number 3 is another high quality vinyl cube, and I do feel kind of guilty about this because, I've been using this one. This one's my, my number 4 choice. I've been using this one so long now. I really love this cube, and it has lasted like you wouldn't believe. So although this black one is number 3 and this one's technically number 4, I would say they're probably neck and neck, to be fair. So let's turn this into top 4 rather than top 5, and so we'll put that one along with the other 2 cubes that come in the same design, but all work brilliantly. All the features work. They're all nice and clicky, but unfortunately it is in ABS, which loses its points, but it lasts like you wouldn't believe. And I think, on a lasting test, it would last better than the nice shiny cool looking vinyl ones. So we'll put that joint number 4, joint number 3, whatever. And then finally, where is it? We've got this piece of crap, which is the worst. I mean, I don't know what it cost me, $4 or something, and it's not even worth that. It's a piece of junk. You see these come in and just run away. I haven't seen too many since, but they are still lurking on eBay. But you can normally tell pretty quickly. You can see how bent the dials are and whatnot. So avoid if you can. If you do get one of those and it doesn't work, and make sure you send it back and get your refund and try and find a better one. But the packaging to look for is either this kind of packaging, which has got these lids on it that slot over and give you a nice solid box. They should do how it goes, like that. Or they come in these windowed boxes, like that, which is our number 3 one, but is of virtually identical quality to the top ones. And then number 2, I'd love it to be number 1, but I can't do it. Is little yellow beauty there, which I'm chuffed to bits with, and firmly sits at number 2. next to the camo cubes. As I say, lots of stuff coming in the next couple of weeks. Some new colours, some new designs. Hopefully the official cubes will come out and start arriving in the next couple of weeks. But for now, we're stuck with Fake Fidgets. Not a lot else to say. I know Antsy made their little crappy 3D sign available for Christmas, so I made my own. Freak out and go buy a fake. And by the way, that's trademarked. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time.